Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, today I had a very long talk with one of my business partners, which is what inspired this video. Now, we were in the process of talking about how bad the market has become, and that prompted me to just take a look at our numbers for the truck that he is operating from April 2023 until April 2024. And I was actually pretty surprised when I saw the performance numbers over the past 12 months. And I thought I'd share it with you guys because I know that sometimes it is very helpful to look at actual numbers. Ready? Let's go. Now, before we actually move on to the board, there are a few things to note. These are operations just by my business partner, not any of our hired drivers. This means that these numbers would be comparable to looking at the numbers of an owner-operator who drives for his or her own authority and has just one truck. But yeah, I was really curious to see how bad did the market actually get over the past 12 months, and I decided to look at the numbers of this one truck. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, here are the numbers. April 2023, April 2024 for this one business partner operated truck. So gross income actually fell by almost 9% year over year. Loaded miles increased. Now, something that I have to mention about miles is that the last load of the month is usually the long load that we take, where the income is considered under the current month, but the miles are driven under the next month. So yeah, loaded miles increased by almost 13%. In terms of deadhead miles, they did decrease by 31%, but we'll take a look at that in just a minute. We have total miles. Look at this loaded rate per mile. In April of 2023, we were averaging $3.32. In April of 2024, $2.65. But the total rate per mile with the deadhead that we had to do in 2023 was $2.76, now $2.34. Now the deadhead was worse here. If you divide it by the number of loads we did, you can see that the average length of haul increased by 37%. And the deadhead miles increased by 10% this year. And this is because those markets are few and far between. Now let's take a look at the expenses. So first of all, truck payment. Back in April of 2023, my business partner was at that time driving a completely paid off truck, zero. Now it's $3,958 per month, a number that a lot of you have crucified me for. But yes, this is a fact. This is what it is, okay? Then we have the trailer payment, which stayed the same. This is a rented trailer. Fuel increased by 28% almost. Insurance, of course, increased because physical damage under this truck made the insurance increase. Maintenance decreased. Taxes decreased, but this is because these quarterly taxes were paid in March. Then we have consumables, electronic logging device, load board, tolls, and other expenses. And other expenses can be things like washes, scales, and so on and so forth. So in terms of the total expenses, we can see those increased by 34%. And a big part of that is the fact that we now have a truck payment. Cost per mile also increased from 92 cents to $1.29 per mile. This is the net income. April 2023, April 2024, down by 63%. It's insane. And this is the operating ratio for this truck. 33% of the income was going towards expenses in 2023. 55% of the income goes towards expenses in 2024 for this truck. But now I want to show you how we fared from April 2023 until April 2024. This is the gross income, and you can see it was pretty high in April of 2023, but for the most part, we're doing well with the gross income, especially since 2024. Gross income has never been a big problem for us. Now, expenses, you can see in June, this is when our junker truck broke down again. My business partner switched trucks and he went back to the junker truck. It broke down again after breaking down for over $45,000 from January to April of 2023. So yes, we absolutely did take delivery of this new truck that is costing us almost $4,000 per month, because this breakdown made us have a negative net income that month. And this happened for the first 3 months of 2023. Now, expenses in general, yeah, you can see they did increase a little bit. August of 2023 is the point at which we started having that extra truck payment. Now, net income wise, of course, because of that old junker breakdown, we had a negative net income and actually lost money in June of 2023. But other than that, we have been doing so-so. It hasn't been great, but it has been so-so. In the beginning of this year, it was okay, January and February, but April was not that great. And then rate per mile. This is what the rate per mile looks like over the months. And this is for loaded miles, because this gives you a view of the market. We started at $3.32. Then it started going down, down, went up in September and October, completely down in November, December, and February was also really bad. April happened to be our best month in terms of the average rate per mile since the beginning of the year, where it's $2.65. So now let me explain these numbers. Number one, our gross income is definitely not low, but this is only thanks to the fact that my business partner operates the truck and he has skin in the game. To give you a comparison, our hired drivers usually take on average 10 days off every 4 weeks, so the gross income is not the same. Now, on the expense side, there is one huge expense missing, which is payroll. And again, this is because this is my business partner. We do not do payroll, we do owner draws that depend on the net income plus which investments we want to make back into the company. Number three, the rate per mile drop is definitely insane, and it dropped quite a bit from April of 2023 until April of 2024. But I am pretty happy to find out that we did maintain an average of $2.59 per mile, and this is definitely not where I would want to be, but it is manageable considering that the cost per mile on this particular truck, despite it being the most expensive monthly payment, which I shared with you guys a few videos ago, the cost per mile on this truck is relatively low. And again, this is because this particular truck is being operated by my business partner. Now, what about our hired team members? Well, with our hired team members, it's a whole different story. And it doesn't only have to do with the fact that there is now this payroll expense. It has to do with the human factor, which we have to respect. Some don't want to go to certain areas, others don't want to tarp, they have different driving styles. Some guys are able or willing to drive only about 400 miles per day, while others are comfortably driving 600 miles per day. Some don't want those 1 to 2 day loads, they only want to go from coast to coast, which I also understand because this is a flatbed and who wants to be tarping and untarping a load every single day. Some want restarts, others want recaps. And of course, taking all of that into consideration, in this market especially, it is often very hard to find a load that kind of checks all of those boxes. A fantastic rate per mile, no tarp, in warm states where the road conditions are good, and so on and so forth. So yeah, with hired drivers, you have to respect that human factor and the preferences as well. But something I realized, the conclusion basically is, yes, you can survive in this market even when it's this bad, but the best chance of survival is the following. Number one, you have paid off equipment and no physical damage insurance. Number two, you're driving by yourself, for yourself, under your own authority. Number three, you're doing all of your own back office, dispatching, taxes, and so on. Anyway, guys, I hope this video gave you some insight into what it looks like on a company level. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. See you in the next video.